I want to talk to my daughter now. Put her on the phone. I need to make sure she is okay. We need to talk first. What have you been feeding her over there? She has a fully stocked cabinet with appropriate foods, and a section of the fridge with food she enjoys. She is free to eat whatever she likes. I am not in control of her diet. She is 11 years old. You are most definitely in charge of what she eats daily. A child should not be left to feed themselves entirely independently. You still have to prepare her meals. I made meals by myself at her age, and I was perfectly fine. I feel sorry that you think she is so helpless. She is almost an adult. You need to treat her as such. She is 11 and has lived off of Oreos. If you want to talk to daughter, that's fine. But it's going to be supervised and recorded. I don't care, Kevin. I have nothing to hide. Hey, Mom. Hi, sweetie. Are you okay? I miss you so much. I'm fine. Have you eaten dinner yet? I know you forget sometimes. No, not yet. I've been too worried to eat. I'm not hungry anyways. I will soon though. Okay. Remember, you have to go pick up your groceries tomorrow morning. It's pickup day. I know, baby. I'm the grown-up. I know what I need to do. Yeah, but I always remind you because you forget. But I'll talk to you later. My brother just woke up and I'm going to play with him. I'll call you and remind you again tomorrow. I love you. Bye. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, Dad. What's up? Why were you asking your mom if she remembered to eat? And reminding her about picking up her groceries tomorrow? Oh, it's nothing. Ever since Mom started her diet, she forgets to eat sometimes and asked me to remind her. And she always forgets to pick up the groceries, so I just remind her of that too. She doesn't get hungry on her diet. I can't imagine forgetting to eat that often. When she started losing weight, the doctor gave her medicine to help. It made her not hungry at all. She got super mad because the doctor stopped giving it to her, but then she started getting it again, so it's all good. That's why I need to stay with Mom more. You have Kayla to help take care of you. Mom has no one but me. Thank you for telling me. Court is now in session to establish a permanent custody order for the child of Alyse and Kevin. We will be hearing from the mother first. Your Honor, my daughter has been taken from me through no fault of my own. I am being punished by her father because she chose to no longer have a relationship with him for months, and he used her accident to steal her from me. My daughter has happily lived in my home for the past almost months, and until she got sick, chose on her own accord to not spend time with her father. He is using the fact that she began to have issues as a tool to have her removed. Kevin is a volatile and unpredictable man, and I am very concerned that daughter has been withheld from me since the hospital because he is harming her and doesn't want me to know. She hasn't even been to school this week, and she never misses school. He's hiding something. Has there been a history of violence or abused that I am not seeing in any of my paperwork? I am trying to understand your claim of Kevin being dangerous. Unfortunately, I was too afraid to ever call the police when we were together. But I was intimidated and bullied into many things by Kevin, and I do not want my daughter to experience this as well. That was a main reason behind our divorce. Can you elaborate on this? During my pregnancy with daughter, Kevin forced me to go to multiple appointments and undergo invasive treatments and testing that was unnecessary and put undue amounts of stress on myself and the baby. I truly believe this is what caused me to go into preterm labor. And even after, though I was a victim of vaccine injury, he went behind my back and had our child vaccinated and forced me to later agree to a delayed vaccination. Looking over the paperwork I have, It shows that 4 months ago you agreed to custody in mediation, and it was notated that you have been practicing since daughter was a toddler. Yes, Your Honor, that is true. If you are worried about daughter's safety around Kevin, why would you allow him to be unsupervised with her for 50% of her life? I thought that the divorce would have changed him. He was doing great for years, but once he and his wife became pregnant, they wanted to change every aspect of daughter to fit their idea of a perfect child. I refuse. She has always eaten a vegan diet in my home, and I was under the assumption that she ate a vegetarian diet at their home. But due to Kayla's pregnancy cravings, I suppose, they began forcing her to eat meat and what she didn't want to eat. And you figured you would solve this by withholding the child. With all due respect, I have not withheld my daughter from her father. She chose on her own accord to not have a relationship with her father. That has nothing to do with me. With all due respect, it is your responsibility as a parent to encourage a healthy and stable relationship between your child and their other parent. So you would have had me force my child to go with someone she doesn't like. Shouldn't she have the option? If you and the father were still together, would she be allowed to ignore one parent and not acknowledge them anytime she felt? That is not at all healthy. While we aren't together, he had all the chances in the world, and instead he got remarried and had a new baby. So your situation doesn't apply here. Very well. I am ready to hear from the father now. Kevin, you may begin. Thank you, Your Honor. Before beginning with our daughter, I would just like to refer you to the copy of our divorce decree, stating that daughter will be vaccinated on a delayed schedule as a compromise between both parents. I also have a copy of my daughter's medical records from being in the NICU, stating the reason as premature birth due to preeclampsia and gestational diabetes. Yes, I did enforce Alyse attending prenatal visits as a precaution due to her complications. Yes, I see both of these. I see I have a lot of information to review during our recess. Those were my medical conditions and my choice to receive care though. He just admitted that he forced me to accept medical treatment I didn't need. Ma'am, it is no longer your turn to speak. Please remain silent while he gives his testimony. So you're just taking away my freedom of speech. You do not have freedom of speech in my courtroom after I tell you to be quiet. I suggest you remain silent or I will have you removed from this courtroom. Kevin, please continue. Let's move on to your relationship with daughter. Thank you, Your Honor. Up until the last few months, there has never been an issue with our relationship. She was always happy to be in my home and we were happy to have her with us. Things began to get rocky after she was told that my wife was unaliving our baby by eating meat. I'm sorry. Yes, apparently she was told by her mother that our baby would unalive because Kayla ate meat while pregnant. If you look at the yellow tab in our notebook, it has the screenshots of Alyse admitting to saying this and saying daughter has the right to believe this if she chooses. The only thing that fixed this was daughter seeing just this week that the baby. Ma'am, why would you tell your daughter something like that? Your Honor, I said that after Kayla had posted publicly that the baby was to be born with multiple severe issues. To the best of my knowledge, those issues could have been prevented by eliminating meat and eating a pure diet. You are not a dietitian or an obstetrician. This is not your expertise, and you have no room to speak on things like that. I am in training to become a doula. I do have knowledge of birth. Birth is not the development of a fetus. Kevin, please continue. I see in my paperwork that daughter was recently hospitalized and CPS was called. What happened? Yes, Your Honor, daughter passed out and hit her head during gym class at school. CPS was called by the doctor at the hospital once it was discovered that daughter was severely. If you look behind the red tab in the binder I submitted to you, You will see the report I was able to receive from the home visit from CPS to Alyse's home. The house itself was in a clean state, but CPS became concerned in the kitchen. The worker found an extremely full fridge, but the food inside of the fridge was all spoiled and old. There was a pantry stocked with junk food, and the concerning issue was bottles of phentermine on the counters, with no child locking tops. Why is the prescription concerning? There were multiple bottles, but none were actually prescribed to Alyse. There were multiple prescriptions made out to men. Due to the lack of proper food and illegally obtained prescription, Dr. G.S. CPS believed it to be best for daughter to remain solely in my custody until our court date. It is clear for the past 4 months. Is there anything else you would like to present before continuing on? Yes, Your Honor. I have my daughter's school psychologist here with me today to testify to the change in daughter's behaviors since she was withheld from me for 4 months. If you would allow it, I would love to have her speak to you. Your Honor, this is ridiculous. That woman has no working relationship with my child. She has a personal vendetta against me because I do not agree with her on certain practices. She will not be unbiased in her testimony. Then I will take her testimony with a grain of salt and compare it to the other evidence I have received. Kevin, please call her forward. So do I get to call a witness to come in and speak on Kevin's behavior? Did you bring anyone with you? No. Then no. Thank you for allowing me to speak, Your Honor. I am the school psychologist and have worked in this field for 15 years. I did not meet daughter until about 3 months ago, when her teacher first sent her to my office. Apparently there was another child in her class that asked daughter why she never ate during lunchtime. It had been documented that daughter was skipping lunch by her teacher, but nothing had come of it yet. Daughter told her that she didn't eat at school because she didn't murder animals for fun. She then graphically described a cow being beheaded for meat. Obviously, this was very traumatic for the children. The teacher attempted to turn the conversation to explain veganism to the class, and daughter dumped her classmates' milk onto the floor and said she doesn't listen to murderers or liars. This brought daughter into my office for the first time, and also resulted in my first run-in with. I called Alyse to my office to discuss what had happened, and come up with a solution where daughter could feel comfortable being vegan, but also have the appropriate knowledge of what that is. No, you called me to slander my parenting and insult my and my daughter's beliefs to my face. I have warned you already to be silent. Do not make me repeat myself. Thank you, Your Honor. When I tried speaking to Alyse, she told me I was not educated enough to even speak to her on this topic and I needed to lose some weight before I tried to give nutrition advice. Clearly it worked, because you look thinner. Good job. Bailiff, please remove Alyse from my courtroom. I have had enough. You are in direct contempt of my orders and can spend the night in the jail to really think about if your comments helped prove your point in this matter.